that can make some difference into the financial systems. And the Bitcoin and the blockchain is one such technology that's going to make a huge difference in the financial sector. Let's talk about a little bit of history, which in the past decades, we have seen many technological innovations which has changed our day-to-day life. And one such innovation is internet. And the backbone of the internet, which is a TCP/IP protocol. Without this protocol, you will not be having the social media, you will not be having the video streaming on your mobile, and you will not be having online education to the villages. And you wouldn't have ever imagined that India will move to a cashless economy without this particular backbone, which is TCP/IP. So that's the technology which has changed the way in which how we communicate with each other. 2 decades before, this communication was not possible, but currently whatever happening right now can be seen anywhere in the world. It's just because of this particular technology that has changed the entire communication system. What internet has been to the communication, the Bitcoin blockchain is for the financial system. The Bitcoin blockchain is such an innovation that many people in the current financial system couldn't have ever imagined that such a system can come into picture. Now, to talk about this particular technology, Bitcoin blockchain is a transnational, borderless system which actually changes the way in which how we define trust hierarchy from a parallel system to a system wherein which a network of people decide and trust the various activities that we do on the blockchain system. The Bitcoin system, the blockchain system, it is not centrally owned. It's a decentralized system wherein which we don't have to trust each other. We can do the transaction between each other. We can transfer the payment between each other without a centralized system. Now, this is such a system wherein which the transaction that we do across the globe can be viewed by each and every one. Now, when we do a transaction through the bank, whether I send my money from Malaysia to India or India to US, we do incur a lot of charges. And what the charges are being done, you will not be able to verify. And the exact charges what the banks incur cannot be verified also. But wherein which in Bitcoin blockchain, can I have that particular slide please? Transaction that is right now happening across the globe. Whether a person sitting over here is doing a transaction of Bitcoin from point A to point B, or a person in Malaysia who is doing a transaction from Malaysia to Singapore, is being recorded over here. The cost that is being incurred, the fees that is being incurred to be paid to a network is also being calculated over here. You will be able to see the last box over there wherein which the current transactions are happening. The blue line is the value of the Bitcoin that is being transacted, and you will be able to see that what is the time that is being taken to conduct this particular transaction. So it is not only me, you, or anybody in this world can actually explore this particular blockchain, and they can get whatever data that is needed in terms of the transaction that what we are doing. So the payment system currently that what we are having, which is a fiat system, we are talking about INR, US dollar, whatever it is. It's such an old system wherein which the currency has not evolved at all. It has been stagnant for quite a long time. Banks and institutions have worked on so many systems, so many new technological innovations, but still the currency remains as it is. We have moved from cash to digital, but still the basic technology behind the currency is multi-decades old. Even now also when you do a wire transfer or a telex transfer from here to, let's say, US, it could take 3 days to 4 days. Why it should take 3 to 4 days? It's a matter of numbers, right? We can do a video streaming instantly wherever we are. We can do instant messaging wherever we are. We can send whatever the secure documents that what we have across the globe through multiple different ways. But why we are not able to transact money instantly? Yes, currently you have all these RTGS, NEFT and all those stuff. But still, when it comes to country-to-country transactions, overseas transactions, it takes a humongous lot of time. 3 to 4 days in the current scenario in which everything happens in a matter of seconds is absolutely not acceptable. So this is one technology which can change the way in which how you perceive what money is all about. And when I talk about the technology changing the financial system, this is a little bit scary for the existing authority or even the bankers or even the so-called financial institutions. The reason is because this is going to make the financial system an open book. An open book wherein which each and every entity that is involved in this particular system can verify what is happening. Many of the people who have a vested interest in terms of huge earnings, it's multi-billion-dollar earnings on a day-to-day basis, because the money transaction industry is quite huge and the charges which is being charged are absolutely huge. Right from sitting over here, you can transact Bitcoin or you can move the payment from here to another entity in a fraction of a second or fraction of minutes. And costing that what will incur is much more minimal than what you will incur in a fiat system. So there will be a lot of restrictions, a lot of apprehensions from the existing think tank who would like to adopt this particular technology. But I won't say that they have not tried to adopt the technology. They have tried to adopt the technology. What they have done is, let me talk about the Bitcoin blockchain. The Bitcoin blockchain is not run by a single person. It's not run by a company. It doesn't have a company, it doesn't have a HUD, and it is not controlled or held by one particular country. It's a combination of nodes. When you talk about nodes, computer, like you can be a computer, you can be one of the node, you can be one of the miner. It is being run and held by the people across the globe. So it is a network of people, network of computer, which mathematically computes a certain calculation to move the money or to move the information or to move the assets from one place to another place without the need of an intermediary. It is a process of de-intermediating the intermediary. And when we say de-intermediating the intermediary means a huge chunk of intermediating companies are going to go away from the system. They might lose all their business in the years to come or the decades to come, because adopting this particular technology might not require even the regulatory overview also, because currently when we talk about regulation, always we look up to RBI to regulate this company, that company, whether it's a financial institution, lending institution, you always need regulation. Now, the regulation also have come through a lot of revisions, a lot of new measures to control the companies, but still, you keep coming up with a lot of problems, a lot of issues with the companies who are transacting in the financial industry. If the regulation was quite strong in the financial industry, why we should face the so-called bankruptcies and all those things from the companies which is not run properly? What the system can do is that the regulator can take a backstage and the system can regulate the process by itself. So it is not something which is going to act against the regulator. It is something which is going to complement the regulators to regulate the industry in a much better world with the new technology. Now, actually, banks, what they have done is that such a person exists also, whether it could be an institution, a person, but we don't know who the person is. But whoever the person is or whoever the entity is, the technology that what he has given to the world is superb. We have not seen such a kind of a technology in the recent decades, and especially for the financial system. So this is definitely a great boon to the financial industry. Now, what bank in 2013 have said is that this is not the technology that what we need, we have a better system and we will go ahead with the system. But by the end of 2014, the Bitcoin blockchain started getting the momentum. people started investing in the bitcoins, and many of the venture capital, they have started investing in the new technology. So 2014 to 15, banks have taken a step that yes, the technology is good, Bitcoin is not good. So Bitcoin declined, the blockchain technology, we would like to work on it. All the banks together, they formed a consortium, okay, which is an R3 consortium, and they have adopted the blockchain technology to change the way in which how the payment have to be transferred between banks to bank, that's interbank transfer or whatever it is. I think a couple of Indian banks have already started working on the similar system. They have started using the blockchain system, but what they are not realizing is that blockchain, yes, it has a technology that can allow you to move the data or assets from one place to another. What Bitcoin can provide, what Bitcoin blockchain can provide is that it has a proof of work which is decentralized, borderless. When banks form a consortium and when they adopt this particular technology, then again what happens is it's a bank who is again being the centralized system to do the transaction again. Again, we have to depend on certain centralized people to decide on how the money have to be transferred and to decide on what charges to be done. So again, we are giving the decentralized aspect to a centralized aspect, wherein which in Bitcoin blockchain what happens is that the trust is being taken up by the people by themselves. It is a decentralized system. Each and every transaction that happens, it happens in such a way that anybody in this world can confirm my transaction that has been done to you. Let's assume that I am doing a transaction of 10 Bitcoin from my country to the gentleman sitting over here. This particular transaction, in terms of banking system, have to be confirmed by a central intermediary, which could be the central bank, the payment system, or whatever it is. And when I do through this particular technology, any person in any of the country can do this in a much, much better way than what the central system is doing currently. So the current adoption of banks into the blockchain is good enough. You are going to see a much, much better momentum in the way in which how you transact the money. But they will not be able to achieve the kind of resilience and the benefit that what Bitcoin blockchain has done without decentralizing the movement of payment. So decentralization is the core value of the Bitcoin blockchain. Without this decentralization, we will not be able to achieve the free-flowing payment movement, peer-to-peer system, what we can give to the new generation. So this is what the Bitcoin blockchain is all about. And Belfrics is already present in Malaysia, Singapore, Kenya, Hong Kong. We have already started our operations in Singapore, but India is one of our most major region, surely because most of the people in India still are unbanked. The people who doesn't have bank account. The current drive to make our system from cashless to a digital economy is definitely going to help us in a better way. But again, how far that is going to help the people from the rural system, we have to wait and watch. So we strongly believe that the kind of technology that what we are bringing in is going to take this technology to each and every village, and they will be able to take the advantage of the payment system. When I say the payment system, it includes lending, it includes transfer of assets, securing the assets, whether you talk about real estate, healthcare industry, you name the industry, the blockchain technology is going to take, it's going to make its changes over there. Our technology division is going to tie up with a few of the major institutions in India to help the institutions to transform their existing technology to the blockchain technology. The way in which how their records are being saved, how their records are being transferred, we should be able to make a huge difference into the existing system of the Indian corporates, and not only the corporates, even our political system, the public government services, in terms of public funds, how it is being utilized. This particular technology can make the entire system completely transparent, whether it is investments or charity that is being given to Indian charity organizations or whatever it is, the auditing can be completely obsolete. Each and every person will be able to audit what a government agency or what a credit institution has done with their particular system. So the current year, we are going to have 3 more launches in various countries. And in India, the volume that what we are expecting is much higher than all the other regions. To talk about the technology further, there will be so many other institutions which is going to come to India. It's not only our company. You will be able to see multinational companies coming in over here and putting their feet into the current technology, and we would like to definitely compete with them to take a major share in the blockchain adoption of the Indian entity. Thank you so much for coming in and attending our session. Thanks a lot.
As one of the superpowers, we are competing at par with the Euro and the US guys. India is looking at cashless economy. We're looking at development. I think we should really thank Mr. Modi for taking us one step ahead. Cashless economy is something that we are looking at in the near future of banking segment. I guess technology providers like Bitcoin in the financial sectors will definitely help us evolve during this moment of progress. Looking forward to see a great contribution towards Indian economy through this Bitcoin and the other counterparts who can help us take some wide steps and progress in the industry. I really congratulate and I wish them all the best in their endeavors of this business. Thank you so much.
Pocket. Now we believe in plastic money and transfer on the cloud. So it's all new, but of course it has to catch up. I think that is the need of the hour, and the next generation is going to work on all these things. So I feel it's a nice initiative and a good start. I'm sure there's great hope and future in this. It's nice and good now because in a way we'll have to look after 2-3 years what will exactly happen to the economics of this country. This has got a chart, but I hope it will come out of it. It's a good thing now, digital and all online. So I feel things should be more better and safer. Urban people is very less percentage in this country. Our population is 125 crores. And what is the urban population is how much? It's very less. So we are only concentrating on the urban population. What about the urban people? What are they going to do, and how is that they are going to get the benefit of this? And we need a lot of infrastructure to be there for them to actually reach up to this. So I think it's a big question for discussion and argument. But then of course, for the country's prosperity, we all need to stand together and try to take it ahead. And the call for fight against corruption is what we all have to see now. How corruption will fight on digital world, that is what we'll have to see now. So we should now know to click properly. Otherwise that click could cost you. Okay. So Digital India will see good days to come. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
A million customers with corporations in 4 countries. We are among the top. And sure, with our presence here in India, we'll have the final digital currency.
Put it slightly back, your shadow. Yeah.